There is a large expanse of land right in the heart of France that is one of the least populated regions in Europe. Have you ever heard of the French empty diagonal? So get ready and stay with us. The empty diagonal. It's a geographical enigma, a slice of solitude etched into the landscape of one of Europe's most populated countries. This vast, underpopulated region stretches from the rolling hills of the northeast to the sun-drenched vineyards of the southwest. A diagonal strip of land that offers a stark contrast to the bustling cities of Paris, Lyon or Marseille, with their vibrant cafe scenes, crowded boulevards and iconic landmarks. Now, imagine this. Across this expansive diagonal, the population density drops dramatically to just 30 people per square kilometre. It's a region that seems more in tune with the vast landscapes of Mongolia than the densely populated European heartland. It's an anomaly that begs the question, how can such a sizable swath of a prosperous country like France be so sparsely populated? Well, the empty diagonal is not just a geographical phenomenon, it's a demographical puzzle. On one hand, we have France, a nation of 67.3 million people, renowned for its rich culture, a global military powerhouse and a robust economy. On the other hand, we have this vast, near-empty expanse, a third of the country almost devoid of people. It's a contrast that's even more striking when you compare France with a country like India, which, despite being nearly identical in size, houses over 1.3 billion inhabitants. This disparity underscores the enigma of the empty diagonal, a silence that seems to defy the dynamism of Europe. So how did this vast stretch become so empty? This is the question we'll be exploring throughout this journey. We'll delve into the annals of history, sift through the remnants of devastating wars, the rural exodus driven by urbanization, and the economic changes that have shaped modern France. So, how did this vast stretch become so empty? Let's delve into the annals of history to find out. To understand the empty diagonal, we need to step back into France's tumultuous history. Let's journey back to the 19th century. France, like much of Europe, was embroiled in a series of wars, most notably the Napoleonic Wars. The cost of these conflicts was not just measured in treasure, but in blood. Millions of lives were lost, leaving vast tracts of the country bereft of a generation of young men. These losses were felt most acutely in the rural areas that make up the empty diagonal, as men who would have been the backbone of these communities were no more. Now, fast forward to the dawn of the 20th century. The world was on the brink of a transformative period of urbanization and industrialization. France was no exception. As cities like Paris, Lyon and Marseille began to boom, they drew people from the rural areas with the promise of jobs and a better life. This rural exodus, as it's known, was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it fueled France's rise as an economic powerhouse. On the other, it left the empty diagonal even emptier. But the story doesn't end there. The two world wars of the 20th century took their toll too. The loss of life was enormous, with the First World War alone claiming more than 1.5 million French lives. Many of these were from the empty diagonal, further depleting its population. Then came the post-war period, with its emphasis on modernization and economic growth. While this period brought prosperity to many, it also led to further centralization of economic and political power in urban areas. The empty diagonal, with its sparse population and lack of major cities, was left on the sidelines. This historical backdrop has had a profound impact on the modern-day France. The empty diagonal is not just a quirk of geography. It's a testament to the forces of history which have shaped and reshaped France's population over the centuries. Today, the empty diagonal stands as a stark reminder of the country's past, even as it looks towards the future. Fast forward to the present day, and the empty diagonal presents both challenges and opportunities. In a country where the buzz of city life is often the norm, the silence of the empty diagonal rings loud and clear. This vast stretch of land, quiet and unpopulated, poses a unique set of difficulties. The primary challenge lies in maintaining public services. How does one ensure access to healthcare, education, and utilities in regions where the population is as sparse as the trees in the taiga? It's a logistical puzzle that continues to baffle policymakers. On the flip side, the empty diagonal is not merely a challenge, it's also an opportunity. In a world increasingly starved for unspoiled natural beauty, this diagonal stretch offers a breath of fresh air. Its untouched landscapes are a haven for tourists seeking a break from the concrete jungle. It's a paradise for nature lovers and a playground for adventurers. Moreover, it's an opportunity for France to demonstrate how economic development can coexist with the preservation of rural and natural heritage. Yes, it's a delicate balance, but it's not impossible. The empty diagonal could become a model of sustainable development where human progress doesn't have to mean the destruction of nature. With these challenges in mind, the question arises, what does the future hold for the empty diagonal? As we gaze into the future, the empty diagonal is ripe with potential for innovation and sustainability. Its vast, sparsely populated territories present a unique canvas for both public and private sector initiatives. Government incentives and local initiatives are being considered and implemented to breathe new life into these regions. For instance, the French government has introduced rural revitalization schemes, offering incentives to businesses willing to set up in these areas. These incentives range from tax breaks to grants, all with the goal of stimulating economic activity and attracting new residents. There are also local initiatives driven by communities themselves. Some villages have turned to creative solutions, like turning empty houses into artist residences or guest houses, thus attracting tourists and new residents alike. And let's not forget the potential for sustainable development. The empty diagonal offers a unique opportunity for the implementation of renewable energy projects, like wind farms and solar power stations. These projects not only contribute to France's green energy goals, but also create jobs and stimulate local economies. Moreover, the region's rich biodiversity can be preserved and showcased through ecotourism initiatives, providing yet another source of income while promoting environmental consciousness. Remember to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts below on this fascinating topic. As we conclude our journey through the empty diagonal, it's clear that this region, while quiet, has a loud story to tell. A story that continues to shape the destiny of France.